And you had your social scene there as well, so it was a very, very big family, if you best way to describe it, run by a lovely guy called PeterSaunders, who was a store director, and I've never ever known a man like him. He would be introduced on a Monday when you had the new staff come in. He'd come up and say hello to all the new intake of staff, and that man never forgot a person. He always had time to speak to people. If he was walking around the store, he'd come and talk to you if he saw you and ask how you were. He had a general interest in his staff, a really genuine man. And I was very lucky that I had the opportunity to show for him, if you like, when he was going to social events. So I got to know him and his family very, very well, his wife Sheila and his daughters, and his stepson Stevie Foster, who was a professional footballer at the time for Brighton.
I don't know anybody that wouldn't have given up a day's pay for PeterSaunders. Governor, we'd come in, work for nothing. Because he was that good. He was that good. He knew everybody by his first name. I was talking to a pal of mine yesterday. I used to work with Ray. He lives in Seaford now, and his wife died a few years ago. And we see each other a couple of times a week. We go out for a bit of lunch and that. And he was saying, we was talking about PeterSaunders yesterday, and he said, what amazed me about that man was, he said, I come into the store, he said, I'm only there on my first day. He says, he comes walking through, he spoke to you, he said. I said, well, that's because he knows me. He said, but then he came over, he said, oh, he said, you're new. He said, and what's your name? So Ray said, oh, Ray Wright, he said. Oh, yeah, welcome aboard. Every time, and he did this with everybody, not just Ray, every time he walked through the department, he'd say, hello, Ray. He always used to call me Stephen. He used to annoy me. He never called me Steve, because my mum was the only one who would call me Stephen. And when it's because I was always in trouble at home. And, but he always called me Stephen. And, but he knew everybody's name, everybody. Didn't matter. If they worked in that store, he knew their first name and he used it. The staff loved him because he was so good, he was so friendly, you know, although he was the managing director, I think he saw himself as being the team leader. You know, it was a team, you know, and he was amazing. And I'm pretty sure that if it had come to it, you know, we'd have all worked, we'd have said, yeah, boss, we'll work, but you know, we'll miss a day's pay just to keep the company going because of you.